How do you feel with the film? It was your first time seeing it.
Yeah, I mean, I can only speak for myself, but I think we didn't know what to expect because that was like 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 6 years ago. It was really emotional because this is like part of our history that coming to Germany, part of the point was to forget the more traumatic stuff and to just like be normal, like experience like life as a normal teenager, going to school, not worrying about your parent not being around and stuff. But it's good every once in a while to look back and remember where we came from. Yeah, it's really emotional. I'm surprised my sister didn't cry this time because she apparently cried from just the trailer. So yeah.
How do you feel about the film?
No, I mean, I think Wasswa has spoken for us. I think Patience did an amazing job portraying my mom's story.
Mhm.
Yes.
I have the same opinion.
Yes, Patience. I also have the same opinion. I think think we all do, and I mean yeah, it's a very long period of time that you're doing this. It was a lot of things happened, and also there is a longer filming period, but also post production. Maybe you want to share a bit about the starting point of the film and how did you how did you decide to make a film about Stella and how did you get to know her? I think it's interesting for everybody here to learn about.
Yeah, actually, I decided to make the film when she came out of jail, and she got poisoned almost right after she came out of jail, and her kidneys were failing. She was fainting at public functions, and then she came to our home for lunch because we had a relationship before that. I didn't know the kids at that time. And I think it was more from a worry as an African woman who always listens to stories about our liberation struggles, and all these women have been erased. So I wanted to know that her story would be told. But at the same time, I wanted to talk to the kids personally to make sure that they consent to being in the film. So we went to her home later and I asked for the kids' permission separately. And when they said yes, I fell in love with them immediately. I think first was Baraka. I was just like, this is definitely the next Stella in a different way. And yeah, the rest just was organic.
But you're really giving a space for so many facets actually of her character and of her personality, like as a mother, as a feminist, as an activist, as a poet, as a philosopher, and I really appreciate a lot the editing process, the montage, the rhythm, and the dramaturgy of it. And of course, I want to ask you about that title poem. Maybe you can tell us a bit more about the background of it and also about maybe your own and personal connection to that poem.
Yeah, I mean, it's a poem that took her to jail, so we knew it had to be part of the film. And so we thought about it was one of the first things we knew we would have to include because we didn't know what else. We had hundreds of hours of footage from the campaign, from after, and it was really hard to decide what stays and what doesn't. But the poem had always the opening poem had always been the one that would help us get context into Stella and why it mattered to document her story and her also like pre-colonial forms of resistance. What maybe some people may not know is that in Stella's culture, in Kiganda culture, she's a mother of twins, and so she has some level of freedom of expression, especially with vulgarity. It's only spared for mothers of twins because in that culture they believe that a woman who gives birth has known pain like no other person, and a woman who has given birth to twins has known double the pain. So they have, when you're in labor, you're allowed to curse and use whatever language you want. And so in Resistance, it's also used the same way. Like if you're a mother of twins, you can say anything you want. And for her, it's also more layered because she's gone through a lot of trauma with the country. So I think, in a way, as younger feminists, we look at her as somebody who has a right to say whatever she wants. And I wanted it to be at the beginning so that people would know, is this a film they want to watch or not? And if they are uncomfortable right away, then they can walk away, early.